Welcome to New Money. I'm Bryan. This evening, our program focuses on retirement and financial planning. I'm often asked what the difference is between retirement planning, estate planning, and financial planning. Whilst all these functions are dealt with by your financial planner, who focuses on your long-term financial goals, when creating the legal documents that will protect you and your loved ones, either the will or the trust will be referred to an attorney for drafting the agreement. Financial planning encompasses budgeting, savings, investment, tax planning and risk management to achieve various life goals. Retirement planning specifically focuses on preparing financially for life after work with the aim of securing a steady income and financial stability in your later years. And joining me this evening is Palissa Dubey. She's Wealth Manager at Centurion Wealth Advisory, and Palissa was Financial Planner of the Year in 2022, and Daryl Bennett, Wealth Advisor at Sasfin. Palissa, Daryl, thank you very much for joining me. Good to have you on our program tonight.
Thanks, Brian.
I've dealt with all these functions, a lot of functions, and I'm wondering when you actually entered the competition to try and become Financial Planner of the Year, which you succeeded in, that's a great achievement. I mean, you had to deal with all these issues in some evaluation by the body who was making the decision of this particular award.
Yeah.
Tell me, how did you deal with this? It's a lot of knowledge, a lot of information you need.
Yeah. Well, I think, financial planning is just one of those professions that is very underrated. I mean, you spoke about a number of, expertise or areas that one needs to look at when you're attending to a financial plan. Everything from tax to understanding the legal framework to understanding how investments work. And so I think for the public out there, a good place to start in finding somebody that is competent in all of these areas is to look for a certified financial planner like Daryl and I are. We're members of the Financial Planning Institute. We are CFP designation holders. That means that we've met the educational criteria to be able to do what we do. We've got the requisite experience to be able to do what we do. And most importantly, because we are members of the FPI, we also adhere to a code of ethics. So I think, again, that's something that can give the public a lot of comfort that when it comes to your financial matters and financial planning, deal with a certified financial planner.
Plus, I'm going to ask you a question. What do you think in getting this award was the cherry on the top? What was the catalyst that you think that you were able to get this award versus all the other participants? Have you ever thought and wondered,
Yeah. Well, it's a tough question, but I think the Institute is always looking for somebody that is going to be a flag bearer for the standards that we're trying to uphold. So when we are dealing with individuals, we're always asked, what's the difference between a certified financial planner, broker, who should I be dealing with? And I think what distinguishes us is how we approach the client. So it's never about a sell, it's never about putting a particular product in front of a client, but it's about taking the time to understand what are their pain points, what are their goals, where are they trying to get to. And and of course then you have to do all of that according to the legal framework that we operate in, but also upholding very high ethics, as I said before. And I think if you can demonstrate that you do that on an ongoing basis, that's the ethos of how you carry on, your profession. That's what the FPI is looking for, and that's what we're looking for in certified financial planners to really put the profession in a good light.
And that's not the only thing, is because we get involved in so many situations. Yeah. I mean, this last 2 weeks I've been involved in trying to mediate a divorce for the children of clients of mine, and simply to try and avoid them having to go the legal route. Very, very difficult.
Yeah.
Driving to the show, someone called me and said, I've booked a cruise next June, and I've got to pay. Do I now convert a rand to dollars now, or do I hold on? What is your view? Yeah. So the expectations, and this is where you come in, Daryl. I want to ask you, we've got artificial intelligence, we've got robo-advisors. Is this the end of our role? Is this the end of our job?
It's just the beginning. I just wanted to add what Palissa was saying, is that besides all the hard skills in the retirement planning, the estate planning, they actually used a word in one of the financial planning conferences, polymath, that first of all, it's ongoing learning. Our job is ongoing. There's the softer skills that's now been incorporated into financial planning, and that is the psychology of money, which is different to behavioral finance. So those are all the softer skills. So our job is ongoing learning and will always be ongoing. So to bring in the robo-advisor and AI, and the changes in the regulatory environment, because COFI, which is a bill I believe is going to be enacted next year, and it's going to change the landscape quite profoundly. At a high end and at a macro level, South Africa is still grey listed, okay, and we hopefully will get off the grey list pretty soon. But the regulator is very serious about the financial situation in South Africa for a host of reasons, and it's going to change the landscape. So I'll give you an example where it's going to change the landscape. When you do a risk profile on somebody, it's not going to be good enough the way you answer the questions and you tick all the boxes and you're conservative. And therefore I put you in a conservative portfolio with bonds and cash. Because that's not doing the right thing if you're a 25-year-old person who's just gone into the marketplace. You won't be able to retire with those kind of instruments. So that's where the regulatory environment will change. The robo-advisor, we will work with them. So there will be clients who don't want the human touch. They don't want the human touch, they'll go work online or work with a robo-advisor. But I think, and for me it came out of COVID, when a lot of people, especially in our industry, who kind of reflected, and we were working from home, realized what was important to us, what wasn't. And then we came out of COVID and we wanted the connection. And our job offers that, where we give the human touch and we listen to people as a trusted advisor. So we will have to enhance our skills to keep up and to blend in with AI and the robo-advisor.
And very important, as we said, we were talking about something else, but 2 ears, 1 mouth. Got to do a lot of listening. Now, let me ask you. You know, financial advisors are a little bit concerned about phase, the advice they give, and sometimes we have to be bold. We have to give better advice than the individual may feel. You could come across, Daryl talked about a 25-year-old, let's talk about a 45-year-old who's a little bit more conservative. But if they take a too conservative approach, although that makes them comfortable comfortable, they're not going to achieve the goal. So how do you, as a financial advisor, turn and get the individual to understand the strategy you're on? Daryl spoke about being conservative. The strategy you're on is the wrong strategy, because today the difficulty of having financial freedom is taking on some risk. Yeah. And a lot of people are very risk averse. Yeah. They understand the word risk and they say, yes, I understand it, until they suddenly see the numbers down. You know, it's fine to say, yes, I understand risk, and I gave you 500,000, it's worth 600, but harder when you take, I gave you 500 and it's worth 400,000, even though I've got 10, 15 years to go. So how do you get around that?
Yeah. To add on what Daryl said earlier, I mean, AI, those tools, they are powerful tools in the hands of a professional like us. You know, they help us simulate, analyze data very quickly so that we can help you through that hurdle that you're going through. So yes, there are the numbers that need to inform the decision or the advice that I'm going to be giving you. But as a financial planner, a very big part of what we do is to help you through those emotions, those things that are keeping you from taking action that would actually be in your, you know, to your benefit. So many a time we actually wear a psychologist hat. Firstly, we need to understand what's driving the fear, what's holding you back. And that's not in an investment management textbook. It's not in a tax textbook, but it's about understanding the individual that's sitting across the table from you.
The relationship to money, the pain associated with money. Yeah. And to add to that, it's also, what I find fascinating and very difficult, Bryan, is that education, and it's our job to educate, education doesn't change behavior. People know that sugar causes diabetes, but yet more and more people in America are getting obese, and they might be selling more chocolates and Coca-Cola.
And now taking the new drugs.
So exactly. So education does not change behavior. One has to connect with the client at an emotional level, go back to understanding their upbringing, their relationship to money, and help them establish goals, and also take the budget and slice and dice it instead of just looking at the bottom line and working out, why are you spending this money on all these things? And really understand the person and not be in such a hurry to give advice. That's the monster.
And this is why what we do is not a once-off. It's not an event. It's not I'm seeing you today, cheers, goodbye. It's a journey. We journey with you because there are going to be different conditions that we're going to need to help you navigate. We're going to need to help you through.
And
So
also,
we journey with our
it is a two-way street, because
Yeah.
whilst you meet with clients regularly and maybe you have a yearly meeting, things happen to them during the year, and if you don't know about it, you know, they need to keep you in the picture. So I always say, clients, if anything happens, because we say, when should we review our portfolio? Well, if everything's normal, you'll probably review it once a year. But if things change during that year, you'll renew it, review it then. But often you don't know situations, like this situation that I just raised. I would never have known this couple were getting divorced if I hadn't have heard about it and asked to assist. Then they would have gone their own way. So it is important that clients realize, if you've got a financial advisor and you've got confidence in that financial advisor, and that financial advisor is capable, and I always add, there are a lot of capable people because of today, all the education and the ongoing learning and all that, and you're compatible, then deal with your financial advisor. Pick it up. Don't just say, my financial advisor never phones me, doesn't know. You know, deal with them. Okay, so then my next question is, which is the biggest one, is how does one avoid not running out of money at retirement, or in retirement 20, 30 years later? Well, because you save for 30 years, let's say you're a 30-year-old, and you save to 65, that's 35, and you now live another 30 years, no more saving, you've now got to use your saving. How?
Okay, well, the short answer is start saving. The younger the better. I actually posted something on LinkedIn. The younger the better, and unfortunately people aren't educated in the power of compounding. The power of compounding is so powerful. All over the world, they don't teach it in school. If you save when you're 14, 15 years old, take a little bit of your pocket money and you get into the habit of saving, it doesn't matter what the stock market does because you've got time on your hands. The challenge is when people haven't started when they're young enough, or they haven't gone into the right asset classes, and now you're chasing performance. And you're chasing a retirement where you know you're working in a company and 60 is the retirement age and you've got 5, 6 years to go and you might not have enough money. Well, then you've got to have serious discussions with your financial advisor.
Let's put a pin in that. We'll come back to it. We're going to take a break. Stay tuned. We'll be back shortly.